Hi, thanks so much for joining me. Today we were talking about this eye look that I have. I had a few requests for it, so I thought I'd show it to you. It's pretty simple. I do have shadow right here in the crease, and then I'm going to show you how I apply it because I do have a couple of bones that stick out here. And Wayne Goss recently did a video on hooded eyes, and he talked about this part as well. So if you have that problem, I'll talk about it a little bit, how I go about working with that, and it has a lot to do with the brush that I used and how I applied it. So hopefully it's even. I applied this with a mirror down below. It's really difficult to do eye makeup unless it's really right in front of your face, but then you wouldn't be able to see. So this is about as close as I could get it without using a mirror like I normally do. So I hope that you're able to follow along as well. Tried to make sure that the mirror I do have stayed out of the way so you could see it. So if you're interested in how to get this look, it took me about 20 minutes from beginning to end with just the eyes. I won't show you the whole 20 minutes, but I'll cut to the really important parts if you wanted to give it a go. So if you're interested in seeing how I got here, please keep watching. I'm starting with the Mercier Caviar Stick Eye Color in Caramel, and it is matte. I'm going to apply it all over my lid and then also underneath. Just puts a nice even color down, and then also doesn't crease, so it is a really nice base. I don't usually use a primer. I don't have oily lids, but what this does on the bottom is it prevents the creasing in these little lines down here. And sometimes I'll even put this in the waterline to cancel out any redness or discoloration. Sometimes those eye brighteners are a little too bright, a little bit too pale in color for me, so it stands out too much. So this is a really great color for the waterline. Then I've got the Narcissist Loaded palette, and I love this color right here. This is great in the crease. I'm using a very specific brush for this, but it's by Crown. It's their Crease Shadow Brush. I like to use this to angle it like this on my crease because it's about the perfect height between my crease and brow bone. So what I'll do once I put color on it is I'll just kind of sweep it like this, like a windshield. I've patted in before and that works really well, but then this I just discovered works even faster. So the eye look that a lot of people ask me about, I use this brush, and the crease can tend to be the most difficult part for me because I have these bones that jut out right here. I'm just taking some of that on the brush, tapping off the excess, and then I just start kind of right here at an angle and I sweep inwards. So I deposit most of the color on the outside and then I sweep in. So I kind of angle it with the line of my lower lash line up, and then I'll place it and sweep. And the harder I push down, the more is deposited, the more color. Hopefully you can see a general shape. I'm going to take a look at my mirror and hopefully you're seeing what I see. This one's a little angled up further, but this one tends to go straight out more, so I've got to make sure I cheat it up a little bit farther. I'm going to take a fluffy brush now. This is a LUXIE 205, and I'm just going to buff out the edges. Okay, and that is pretty simple. I'm gonna go ahead and intensify that just a little bit more. So just take a little bit more product, same color, place it at an angle and sweep in. Yeah, this is definitely the trickiest part for me. Well, one of the trickiest parts, and then the eyeliner coming up is probably kind of along the same lines in terms of difficulty and inconsistency. It doesn't always turn out the way I want it to. Sometimes I'll pat in on that area that I know sticks out to blend it in a little bit better. Again, you can see quickly it takes a shape. And I don't go too far down. It'll lose that uplifted look if I take it too far down. So I try to be really careful about not extending it too far. Moving along, I'm taking my Tom Ford eye defining pen, and I'm taking the short side of it. There are two ends to it, and I'm taking the more structured end. It's the shorter one, just to draw the line up. I tend to get a more straight line that way with this end of it. Now this is hard to do. Usually I've got two hands and let's see. So usually I've got two hands for this. I'm going to try and balance the mirror here just so I can pull this so it can be straight on the edge. See, there's a little bit of wiggle if you don't do that, so if you can, I got an ab workout going here trying to do this. So as you can see, it almost goes up like this. My eyes are more round than almond shape, so if I did follow the line, yeah, I definitely wouldn't have this shape. It would be more round. And then I take the longer side because it's more flexible, and I'll go along the lash line really close. If you're not certain how to use this, if you just lay it against your lashes like this and you dot it on like that, that works too. Because I don't like to leave it raw like that. I like to buff out the edges. So I'm just going to fill in here. I'm going to take the line and go across. And it might seem like a lot to fill in, but when my eyes are this round, it's going to take a little bit more to fill in here. Now you can see the difference between the two sides. The goal really is to continue this line and go across and meet the end of the flick here. This is my tricky eye on the side. This side is the one that has the bone sticking out a little bit further. Then I take a look and then I see what I need to even up to make them look more balanced. Also, you can use tape or concealer, really fixes things if they're off on the end here. So far that's looking okay. I'm going to take this MAC palette, which I don't normally use. I think I only use really this color in here. And I take the other side of that crown brush. It's the crease side. It's a great brush to buff this edge out. I run it across just to soften the edge. I'll go ahead and run that same color under on the bottom lash line. If you want to intensify that outer corner and use black, I like this black that's in the Charlotte Tilbury Instant Look in a palette. It's Smoky Eye Beauty. This is the color I'll be using, the black color in there, and I'm just going to take it in the corners, outer corners, right here. Just kind of connect those two, and then right up here on top. Again, blending that in a little bit more. Finally, I'm going to take that same Charlotte Tilbury palette, but take number 1, the Eye Brighten color. And I've got a Real Techniques shading brush. And I like this brush because it's small. And then I'm going to just pat that in from the inner corner to the center. It's a really pretty, just light, warm, shimmery color. I'm going to take it all the way to the inner corner. Now, that's pretty basic. If you watch any tutorial, you'll probably see the same types of things, but from this point, there are a few key things that I think make a big difference. The first is to tight line with a black, I was gonna say marker, with a black eyeliner, and I love the Marc Jacobs Highliner. It's really soft going on, and it stays all day. Makes your lashes look thicker and more full, and I like that. I like really full lashes. The next thing I do is I take the, and I've talked about this before, the Laura Mercier stick in copper, and I go in the waterline with this one. And you'll see it does something to pop. You can also tone it down a little bit. I've tried the by Terry in Bronze Moon in there. It does the same kind of thing. It's a little bit more muted though, so I'll go ahead and do that just to show you. And I'm just gonna layer it right on top. And that tones it down a little bit. It's not as bright. Then of course, mascara. Got the DIORSHOW 3D Maximizer Primer. Even daily, I don't put mascara on unless I put this on first. Then I've got the YSL Vinyl Couture number 1. I've been using that every day. And that's it. I hope it looks even. Really, it's hard to tell with the mirror. I'll see it in the playback if it's not, but as good as I could get with this mirror down here. I hope that was helpful for you. And no, I'm no makeup artist. I love makeup. I love watching makeup artists, and I love trying the techniques that I watch on YouTube on me. And sometimes I have to do a little bit of adjusting because maybe their model looks a little bit different or they have different coloring. So I think that's what I love the most about YouTube, is that if you can find someone out there who looks like you or has some of the same characteristics or same features as you, then you can see how to tailor some of those techniques that you see out there to you and see how they work. So I hope it helped. If you have any questions, please let me know. But gosh, how long have I been doing makeup on myself? For the last, I don't know, 30 years? 30 years about, so I've had a lot of trial and error in that time, so I hope that was useful for you. So if you learned something, if you enjoyed this video, if you have some tips for me that you think would work, I'd love to hear what they are. Please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thanks!